going on, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a little unboxing video of the Edelbrock Pro Flo 4 EFI kit. This one specifically for a 289 or 302 Ford small block. That will be going on my 1971 Ford Maverick. I wanted to do this video because I haven't came across too many things online. You know, I was kind of unsure of what route I wanted to take, and it was kind of hard to decide just with the little information that there is out there on it already. So I decided to go for it, and maybe this will help you guys decide a little bit on if you guys want to go this route or something else. And I'll kind of give you guys my thought process along the lines with everything as well. So I guess we'll just go through this stuff here first to give you zip ties for your wiring. I did get the kit with the tablet just because I do have an Android phone, but I just wanted to have a specific like tablet, or you know, whatever you want to call it, for the car. You know, keep it in there if I wanted to. This is where you're going to be able to do all your tuning and, you know, whatever adjustments you want to change in your parameters. Apparently it's not available for iPhone, only for Android, which is why they offer it with the tablet in case you have an iPhone. This is the main harness. The connectors are actually pretty good quality. I mean, you got like you got a relay here, the main relay. Got some connectors, but you know, these connectors, they're, I mean, I don't know if I would say, I guess OEM is what you guys want to call it, but I mean, they're pretty quality connectors. They're not, you know, cheapo ones. They're pretty nice, you know, something you would see from like from a factory car. So this is the main harness. Then you got your distributor. Now this one is specifically for this EFI kit. You know, you can't use a different distributor if you have like a MSD one or some other brand. You know, you got your specific connector there. One thing I really liked that they did was these clips. I hate distributors that have the screws. Got a nice nice billet shaft here. Nice quality. Let me go ahead and put those clips for you. See, and this is why I like it, you know, one hand. Let's see. So there's the inside of that. You can see the what this connector looks like it goes to. Then you have the main part of it, which is the intake manifold. And like I said, this is for a 302 or 289 Ford small block Ford, sorry. This is for a 289 or 302 Ford small block. It looks like, you know, a high-rise intake manifold. This one says EFI right there. It's Edelbrock. Looks like you got your coolant temp sensor. Excuse me. Your coolant temp sensor. You got 2 ports to add additional ones, you know, if you have a gauge or something. And then you got where your thermostat goes. Now if you come up here, you got your this is where your fuel comes in, and looks like this is your fuel pressure sensor. And then you got AN fittings. That's -6 AN, I believe. So I'm gonna have to, when I get my fuel, there's a specific fuel kit you have to use for this, and I'll probably do another video on that, because I will be installing that on here, so I'll probably do a install video. Then you got the throttle body. On here you got your, looks like your let me see what that, yeah, throttle position sensor looks like it'll be. We got I think this is a progressive style throttle body, like just like a normal carburetor where you have your primaries. I think progressive is the name of that style. And then you have your idle air control valve right there. That might be like a vacuum. Yeah, it looks like a vacuum sensor. You got your ports where your lines would go. That one would probably go to your your positive crankcase ventilation. Got these nice fuel rails. Looks like some billet aluminum. And this is where the kit is, you know, this is the bread and butter of the kit. The fact that the injectors are right to the end of the port on the intake manifold. And I know there's like a older versions where the injectors are actually in the carburetor, so it's essentially like a normal style carburetor, except it's fuel injected and a little more controlled. But this acts more like something more modern, something you would, you know, come across looking at anything fuel injected from the factory. So that's the kit for the intake manifold right there. Then here is the brains. This is the computer. Edelbrock EFI. Got your connector there. Connector for this is this one, I believe. And yeah, so essentially with the computer, from what it seems, it's actually a once you give it, you know, your base parameters to start off with, Edelbrock does takes all the guesswork out of it for you, because they, you know, from whatever tests that they have done, they have decided, you know, this is the best results for the parameters entered. So for example, I mean, I'll go through it when I do install it, you know, I'll do a step-by-step video. But for mine, it's a 302. Well, I believe it's a 302. I'll have to verify on the block. There should be a casting number on it. But it's a 302. It's going to be, you know, you have a stock cam, you know, any, you know, sort of other modifications. I believe you have to enter your fuel pressure. And I think these injector sizes were 29 pounds, if I remember correctly. I'll put the description of the kit that I bought down below. I'll also put the fuel kit, the fuel system kit down there. I'll do an install video later on, but I'll include that down there so you guys can take a look for yourselves. And then, so here's another connector. Not sure what this one's for yet. I'll have to look at the instructions. Here's another one. This one might be for the fans. Yeah, I believe this one's going to be for the fans. And then this is actually your injectors. So this is a harness that will actually go to your throttle position sensor, your fuel pressure sensor, your idle air control valve, and then this might be like I want to say it's like some sort of vacuum pressure, but I'm not sure. I'll have to get back and look back and check. They also give you a wideband sensor. I don't believe it's an oxygen sensor. I believe it is a wideband, because that's where the computer comes in. It actually self-tunes, so it'll read this, and the wideband sensor will read what's coming out from, you know, through the exhaust pipe, see if you're burning too lean or, you know, too rich, and it'll adjust. And then that's where this kit is, you know, that's where the value of it comes. The fact that you don't need to go to a tuner once you do everything you're going to do to it. You know, you can you can do it yourself. You know, obviously, I'm sure you can take it to a tuner if you really want to, but you know, I don't think it'll be necessary. So you got this sensor here. Oh, you know what? This one's gonna be, I believe this one goes into the air cleaner. So I'm gonna have to clean up my air cleaner housing, and I think that goes in there. They do give you a bung so that you can weld it into your exhaust, which is this piece right there. So that you can weld it in to your exhaust so that you can install it. And then you also get your intake manifold gasket. Feels like there's some other stuff in here. Hopefully there's a thermostat gasket because I didn't get one. But that's essentially the overview of the components that come in the Edelbrock EFI kit. Like I said, I got the one for a 289 302 Ford, which is going to go in my 1971 Ford Maverick. The kit was a little over $1,900, close to $2,000. I did decide to jump the gun on it because I was iffy on it. I did want to go, you know, fuel injected. I know I wanted to just because of the dependability, or I guess reliability. Reliability. I didn't want to do an engine swap. That's just, you know, I don't know, it just not the route I wanted to take. But then, you know, started coming, you know, just doing research, you know, seeing what my options were. You know, I started thinking maybe an LS swap, but then, you know, there's the purists out there that hate, you know, Ford and GM, you know, inner meshes. Excuse me. And I told myself the same thing. I said, you know what, you know, it's a Ford, it's a 1971 Ford Maverick. There's not many of them out there. I don't want to, I wouldn't say ruin it, but I didn't want to go that route. And then so I started looking at maybe like a Coyote swap. But Coyote swaps were gonna require like a lot of changes. The biggest change would be my shock towers were gonna have to be cut off completely. I'd have to get a whole new K member so that my suspension can I don't think you guys can see, but my suspension would have to be completely different. It would be a whole kit that's like, you know, it's on the K member. And then so yeah, once these shock towers are cut and shaved down, you know, the engine would fit just because it's such a bigger engine. And yeah, so that's why I decided, you know what, I'm gonna keep this engine. I mean, it's still a good engine. Same thing with the trans, you know, it's a C4 trans. I think the only problem I have with this engine right now is that I think the rear main seal is leaking. But I'm gonna get the trans rebuilt sometime this year, so I could fix that then. Besides that, I mean, I'm happy with the way the kit looks. I mean, this came assembled. You can see the plastic's still on it. So I like that. I like, you know, this is already assembled, and I didn't have to go in and, you know, put it together myself. I mean, I like doing that stuff, but it's just convenient that it just comes already put together. So I mean, essentially it looks like only thing you really have to do is remove your intake manifold, remove the bolts, you know, remove the distributor. Once that is off, maybe take off the valve covers, you know, just for clearance, but you know, place a new one in, which is, you know, all the bolts line up, all the bolt holes, sits right in. You know, you got the new gaskets already, and then you just kind of, you know, set up your harness and wire it up, and then the only other thing after that would be your fuel. And like I said, I'll do a separate video on the fuel system kit, which will be a inline fuel pump. I believe I'm going to be replacing my fuel pump or my fuel tank as well when I do the install for that. So so make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, you know, so I will upload those videos sometime soon. Hopefully sooner than later. I want to get this thing going. I want to drive it already. This thing's been sitting for too long now. I started sanding off the rust. This thing was, the whole car was like this, all rust. Car has been in the family for about 18 years now, but it's been sitting for majority of those years. And I finally was able to buy it from my uncle, one of my uncles that had it, and so yeah, so now it's in my hands and I'm gonna bring it back to life. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if there's something I missed, any questions you may have on it, as far as unboxing and the components, because obviously I haven't installed it yet. But let me know if there's anything you guys want to know, any questions, and like I said, like, subscribe, that way you guys will know when the next video comes out, when I do the actual install. Like I said, I'll do the fuel system kit, and then any other videos that I do with this car here, because I think I'm gonna start just recording everything I do to it now, because I mean, it's I think it'd be fun to do. I see that there's quite a few other Maverick owners out there, Maverick Comet owners. So yeah, let me know what you think, and peace.